Thank you so much, Steph, and good afternoon, everyone. I have 3 notes for you, and we will be out of here. So, the President of the General Assembly, Mr. Dennis Francis, is in Nairobi, Kenya, to take part in the opening of the 6th session of the United Nations Environment Assembly, UNEA 6. The PJ will deliver remarks at the high-level segment, which will take place tomorrow, 29th February, at 10 a.m. local time, so which is going to be 2 a.m. here. The overall theme of UNEA 6 is effective, inclusive, and sustainable multilateral actions to tackle climate change, biodiversity, loss, and pollution. Mr. Francis will draw attention to the fact that biodiversity is degrading at the fastest rate in history, and that the outcome of UNEA 6 must progress towards ensuring everyone's right to clean, healthy, and sustainable development. Today in Nairobi, he held bilateral and separate meetings with the head of the United Nations country team, Mr. Stephen Jackson, and the Director General of the UN office in Nairobi, Ms. Zainab Hawa Bangura, as well as with the president of UNEA 6, Ms. Leila Ben-Ali, before heading to a dinner meeting with UNEP Business and Industry Major Group. And we will bring more updates for you as they happen via your email. On Monday, 4th March, the General Assembly will hold a plenary debate on use of the veto, item 63, special report of the Security Council. The debate on the use of the veto at the meeting of the Security Council held on 20th February, you may remember, under the agenda item, the situation in the Middle East, including the Palestinian question, will take place at 10 a.m. in the GA Hall and will be webcast by UN TV. PJ Dennis Francis will chair the plenary debate. And now, this morning, President Francis sent a letter to member states informing that he will convene an informal plenary meeting of the General Assembly on Monday, 4th March, at 3 p.m., to hear a briefing from Mr. Filippo Lazzarini, Commissioner General of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees. The meeting will take place at the GA Hall, and there will be no pre-established list of speakers. Due to the limited time available, time limits for individual statements will be 3 minutes and 5 minutes for statements on behalf of groups. And as you know, the PJ will be there. And finally, PJ Dennis Francis has selected the members of the judging panel following the nominations received from the co-chairpersons of the Steering Committee for the UN SIDS Partnerships Awards. The PJ's selection of members is in accordance with General Assembly resolution, and the following members will be working on this panel. Mr. John Gilroy, Ms. Kerita White, Mr. John Gilroy, I should say, is the first secretary of the Permanent Mission of Ireland. Ms. Kerita White is the Deputy Permanent Representative of Barbados. Dr. Ibrahim Zuhuri, Deputy Permanent Representative of the Republic of Maldives. Ms. Fiona Indu, Deputy Permanent Representative of Solomon Islands. And Ms. Kate Brown, she's the Executive Director, Global Island Partnership, as well as Dr. Satesh B. Daisy, Professor and Associate Dean, School of Graduate Studies, St. George's University of Grenada. And additionally, 2 other members, there will be Mr. Sainivalati Naboti, who is the Chief of the SIDS Unit at UNDESA, but also Ms. Tishka Francis, Head of SIDS Subprogram, will act as ex-official members of the panel. The award will be presented to 3 partnerships in recognition of their contributions to the implementation of the Sustainable Development Priorities of SIDS. So this is everything we have for today. We'll be back here on Friday, so no room briefing, or video briefing, I should say, tomorrow. But you will receive the PJ's speech from us through your email. By the time you wake up tomorrow, the speech will be there. So, hey, how are you today? I go to Ibsen afterwards, yeah, and I'll have all of you. Ibsen, how are you today?
Thank you. So my question is regarding the meeting Monday, the UNRWA meeting Monday at 3 p.m. Does this come in context of the letter that Mr. Lazzarini wrote to the General Assembly about the situation of UNRWA? And what does that okay, first this part.
No, sure. You are absolutely right. Mr. Lazzarini wrote a letter to the PGA. The PGA received the letter, and we informed you all when it happened. However, this is a meeting that was requested by a member state, Tunisia, in their capacity as chair of the Arab group. So the request came from a member state, in this case, Tunisia.
Okay, so
Sure.
So does that mean? I mean, okay. Then my question is about the letter that Mr. Lazzarini sent. Would that mean? I mean, would be? I mean, what does it mean for the General Assembly in this case regarding the UNRWA mandate, given the fact that it comes from the General Assembly?
Sure.
And do you expect any outcomes from the Monday meeting about UNRWA? And does the letter activate, or I don't know, any steps by the General Assembly that need to be taken in such situation?
Sure.
Thank you.
Look, I think things are happening in a crescendo, right? As if you can say this. So the PJ received the letter of Mr. Lazzarini, and Mr. Lazzarini is coming. By the way, he's coming here to the General Assembly. He'll be here on Monday in person to brief member states. The PGA, of course, will meet Mr. Lazzarini, and I will have updates for you. The PGA is very concerned about what is happening right now. He sees UNRWA, Ibsen, as a lifeline for 2 million Palestinians. And what is happening right now is that Palestinians who are in need of help and humanitarian assistance are not getting it. And the PGA is following these developments. Will be announcing action or more updates on this in due time. And the fact that Mr. Lazzarini is coming to New York to brief member states is also connected with what is happening. And of course, the concern of the PGA is extremely distressful, what is happening right now. And the PGA would like to take or make his judgment based on the information that he will receive from Mr. Lazzarini, of course, in consultation of member states. Okay, I have to go by order, okay? Edie, and then I have Amélie, and you, Nabil. And of course, how are you?
I was going to ask the same question, but now that Ibtisan has a follow-up, is there a speakers list yet? And if not, can we find out the speakers list when it becomes available?
Unfortunately, for this meeting, Edie, we won't be able to send a speakers list because there won't be a speakers list. So delegations will be invited to press the microphone button to request the floor. We will find out when the meeting is happening. The meeting will be on webcast. But delegations speaking on behalf of groups, they should approach the Secretariat to be given priority. But it will be happening as the meeting takes place.
Is President Francis planning to speak at the opening?
He will be there. He will be chairing the meeting. We'll be updating you on this, definitely.
Is he going to deliver any remarks?
That's what I have to get back to you on this, but he will be there, and we will update you on the remarks, okay? If he will deliver them. Okay, so I have Amélie, and then, good. Yes, has been answered. Wonderful. I go to Deji, and then Nabil, and Mushbek. You are on my list.
Let me ask you about another meeting,
Sure.
the veto meeting. Do you have a schedule for that now?
Which meeting?
The veto.
The veto. Sure,
yeah.
sure. It's at 10 a.m. Also, it will be webcast by UNTV.
It's 10 a.m. on Monday.
On 10 a.m. on the 4th of March, and the
4th.
PJ will be there as well. The PJ will chair both meetings.
So they will have two meetings. In the morning, it's about the veto, and in the afternoon, it's about UNRWA.
Sure,
Okay.
sure, absolutely. Okay. Nabil, Mushbik, and Volodymyr. Nabil goes first.
Thank you.
By order. Sorry about this. I'll be back.
So I think the request was that the meeting on UNRWA to be held this week. So can you explain why the PGA decided for the meeting to be on Monday?
Sure. The schedule of meetings in the General Assembly, they are made in consultation of member states with also the schedule of the PGA. So it has been decided that it will be taking place on Monday afternoon. Yes.
And I don't know if you talked about this before, but what's the PGA's position on firing a number of UNRWA's employees based on allegations, Israeli allegations, especially that the UNRWA is mandated by the General Assembly, and they were fired almost immediately. So what's his position on this?
I think the PJ spoke about that, including in interviews where he was asked. And what he said is, when there is a case of investigations taking place, they should take place, and he will speak about the result of an investigation or investigations when they are ready, not before. So we're not going to interfere with any investigations.
And maybe
Sure.
last question. So what does he hope to achieve from the briefing on Monday on UNRWA?
Well, the PJ supports the work of UNRWA. Yeah, UNRWA has been doing good work with the Palestinian refugees for decades in the history of this organization, and he would like to listen to Mr. Lazzarini and also to listen to member states, and he will continue in what he said before, public but also in private, continue to support the work of UNRWA. Yes, Mushvik.
Thank you,
and
Monica.
And then you, Volodymyr.
Thank you. Is the President of the General Assembly aware of Nobel laureate and pioneer of the microcredit, Professor Muhammad Yunus' current situation in Bangladesh, as reported by the OIR, where he is referred to a prisoner in waiting? And he expressed his extreme concern to Christina Amanpour day before yesterday.
The PJ is following the developments, Mushevik, and I think what the other spokesperson said before, Steph, it remains. And then you are talking about Professor Yunus. And we all know the history and the work of Professor Yunus. He is indeed a good friend of this organization. And where due process has to take place, we are going to wait for the process to take place. But I think the biography of Mr. Yunus speaks for itself. Volodymyr, I give the mic to you, and we will be finishing here. Thank you so much.
On Friday and Monday,
Yes.
The General Assembly considered the situation in the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine.
Sure.
The speech of the PGA was very powerful and clear, and he said, while the Security Council may be paralyzed by division, let us draw strength from the collective voice of the General Assembly. He said it demands the immediate, complete and unconditional withdrawal of Russian military forces from the territory of Ukraine. So the question is whether the President of the General Assembly shares the following proposal for reforming the UN system. The General Assembly should have the right to override the veto of the UN Security Council resolutions. Override.
Well, what the PJ said on Friday in his statement, the statement is online. He also mentioned that this is a needless war, which is a very important point here. In regard with the reform of the Security Council and other bodies in the organization, like a revitalization of the General Assembly, this is a matter for member states to decide, not for the PJ. But thank you for your question. And I see you on Friday. Thank you so much.